Okay, so here we are with LYNNE HENKIEL, close to the end of a conference, annual meetup of the top 500 innovators. You know, you gave great keynote speech yesterday about how to break a barrier of researchers to become a bit more entrepreneurial. Could you say in a few words how you do that in Atlanta? Because the model you presented yesterday is fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much. So at Georgia Tech, we really focus on entrepreneurship as a skill that we try to teach all of our students. And as a result, we've taught all of our faculty how to teach students. And we encourage a lot of our research faculty to really look at entrepreneurship as an avenue for the students as they graduate. So if the student doesn't want to go work for a Fortune 500 company or a large corporation, they can create their own jobs. And we want them, of course, to do it with research, and we want them, of course, to do it with Georgia Tech research. So we try to provide them all the skills and tools to be able to think like an entrepreneur. And even if you don't think like an entrepreneur and you're not an entrepreneur, you can still have an appreciation for what an entrepreneur goes through.
Okay, and thank you for that. And looking at the further program of the conference, there are quite a few interesting things. What are your personal highlights of the conference?
Easily the students this morning.
Okay.
The young student teams, they just amazed me of how put together they are at such a young age. I mean, I compare them to the students in the U.S. and the children here, I shouldn't really call them children, though they are young of age, their behaviors and their intellect and their professionalism and their skill base was really impressive. I see future coders, I see future startup companies, I see entrepreneurs, and I see future CEOs in those young men and women I saw this morning.
Yeah, that's true. That was fantastic. And the moment when they got diploma.
Yeah, I almost cried.
That's true. So let's also talk a bit wider apart from a conference. It's great to have specialists like you here, and you know, to have your insight and your expertise. What do you think? How Poland could benefit from, you know, from relation with states and relation with people like you, with experts in the field of innovation? How we should do this together to make good things happen?
Well, one of the things I'm taking away from my visit here is how very focused Poland is on education, and I can't applaud you enough for that. Okay. Education, for me personally, I think is the key to everyone's success, and I really hope that people continue to learn new things until the day they die. And I've got an impression from the entire country that education is extremely important. So now we just have to figure out what to do with that education. So you get the skills and you learn how to do different things with your skills. The key now is to figure out how to encourage entrepreneurship and how to not be risk averse. And startups are very risky, but they're also very successful. So it's high risk, high reward. But the more we go through that process, the more we refine it, and the more chances you're going to have a successful startup in the country. And it's nothing but an economic development tool to be able to advance the country economically. So okay. I'm a great believer in startups, as you can tell.
Yes, and you're in a good place then.
Yes.
So today we are in Wrocław, but of course my heart belongs to Łódź. No, I know about good relations between Atlanta and Łódź. Is that right?
Absolutely. Well, you know, as you know, we are working with the city of Atlanta, and my understanding is that Łódź and Atlanta are sister cities. So there is definitely a bond there to begin with, and I'm really hoping that we'll be able to work on that relationship and make it a much closer relationship. And there's nothing but the future ahead of us. So.
I totally agree, and I hope this will happen. So thank you very much, and you know, looking forward to see you in Łódź or in Atlanta.
Thank you.
you.
Dziękuję. Dziękuję bardzo.